I don't have my light on. I don't care. What I was wondering, and what I do care about, is finding out for the few people that do watch me. For the people that are into World of Warcraft and watching me play World of Warcraft, which is a very small percentage of people. However, would you prefer seeing me play hardcore and then the new mode whereby you can't trade with anybody, you can't do anything? So let's hop into this really quick. I want to show you this because sometimes it's like, ooh, you know, I don't know what that glow is, but it appears every now and again around me. So there's something called, well, first of all, hardcore. Never known defeat, because you'll lose that once you die, and then that's it. And there's a new mode in hardcore called Self-Found Adventurer. You're unable to trade, use the auction house, or send and receive most mail. And as far as I know, you can't even group up with people unless you're doing a dungeon. So if you're doing a dungeon, you can do that. And that is about it. So I started doing a hunter just for like a couple of minutes. Don't get too excited, because ultimately, as we all know, hunters are incredibly powerful in solo play. And what's really scary about this is that, like, I could never go to I couldn't even sell anything. I will go broke just trying to get my skills. Anybody who's played this game will know that. But my point with all of this is the following. And again, it's pretty simple. Just clear this up here. Like, if you're just a casual, right, and you're watching me, or anybody else for that matter, and you're like, oh yeah, it's World of Warcraft, it's nostalgic, and you kind of enjoy the commentary from the person that you're listening to. Do you give a rat's ass if they're doing the hardcore? Oh my god, is it like more suspenseful and thrilling to you? Or do you just not give a shit and you're like, I don't care what version of World of Warcraft, whether it's just hardcore or the regular classic or classic era, you'll watch regardless. So that's really the biggest question right there. Because me, like I said, I haven't decided what I want to do. Like, I just have no idea. I haven't even gotten to 60 in classic era. I mean, I have multiple times. Originally in 2004, 2005, and then like recently in 2019, but then we moved on to BC and whatnot, right? I'm talking about like as of late, ever since Burning Crusade has come out. I don't know why my hat's on. Ever since Burning Crusade came out, there's been no need for me to come back here, because I've been enjoying BC, Wrath of the Lich King. But as I'm repeating myself, and you'll know, once Cataclysm comes out, unless there's a change, they are not bringing classic era Wrath of the Lich King servers. I don't want to go to Cataclysm, right?
Peace be with you.
So that's my thing there for that. See, that's an important upgrade there. So I'm not going to keep playing this mode, but I just wanted to kind of introduce the idea to it of, you know, what it's about, in case you've been out of touch a little bit with WoW or whatever. So again, hardcore, you die once, you're done. Blizzard Entertainment doesn't care what the reason is, you're done. That in itself, to be honest, is a little bit crazy because of disconnections. Even though I got really good internet, the stability, I can easily get booted, you know, once in a while, easily, a couple times a week kind of thing, especially when I'm on my computer a lot. And that makes it that's a risk. If I get booted and it takes 2 seconds for me to get one-shotted, then I am done. What I wish they did was the regular classic mode, right? Not the hardcore one, just the classic era one, but implemented the self-found adventurer. Because then the buff is there. I can easily just be like, oh yeah, I won't go to the auction house or nothing like that. But then, without that buff, the viewers, the people watching, or when you click on somebody's portrait, see? Self-founder adventurer, you're like, ooh, you know, that's a whole different ballgame. You can cheat, right? You can easily cheat. this is kind of like a trophy in a way. It proves that there's no way you could have gotten any outside help whatsoever. So again, is that exciting? You don't care about that? Or I could play the regular classic era, and that's just as good for you to watch, whether it's from me or somebody else. See, again, this keeps popping up every now and again, and I just don't know what that is. It's kind of a little bit funky. Give me a moment, and I shall return on my druid in just classic era, non-hardcore. Again, this was just to tickle the idea. Plus, I don't know what character I would stick with. It would either be... might even be a dwarf hunter, or a tauren druid, or a night elf druid, if I were to go that way. Mage and hunter, arguably, better soloers in classic, or most expansions. But I don't really know what I would do there. But anyhow, one moment, and I'll switch over to my druid. So not that this is exciting to show you, but I thought I would anyways. There's the seasonal thing, which I'm not too sure what that is. I think you got to restart literally every season, which I don't want to do. I've started over enough times over 20 years. So this is the regular classic era, again, where there's no expansions. And then this is where you do the hardcore. There's 2 servers, the Defias Pillager, Skull Rock. The Defias Pillager seems to be a little bit more populated. And then from within it, when you start a character, you have the ability to toggle whether you want that buff where you can't trade or do anything. So that's that there. And yeah. Go to white main. As you can see, everything's low. Kind of sad. Because don't forget, and I know if you've been following me, I've probably said this a million times and have driven you crazy by now for the very select few that do watch me. I ride on their people being around. If there's not a lot of people around, then how I want to play the game is it's pretty junky. Because I want to help people. I want to buff people, give them a heal. I want to be that reason they didn't die. Now that is more hardcore when you're thinking about the actual mode itself, hardcore. Just think about it. Bags your mount. How the hell are you going to get your mount in hardcore self-found mode if you can't even use the auction house? That's absolute madness, right? And that's the whole allure of it. Again, when you see those buffs, which obviously aren't here, in that game, it's a bragging right thing, right? So that's why I was asking, because it would be 10 times longer. Wouldn't be able to get around as well. Wouldn't be able to upgrade my gear, go to the auction house, do all those things. Let me see if I can do something here to get rid of... well, not get rid of it. Just bear with me for a moment. Yeah, we definitely don't want that. And I have a mild astigmatism. I normally do wear glasses. I do see a little sharper with them. However, I don't like glasses and I'm not blind. I can still read that. Talk to Rexner Deathgate upstairs inside the building. Like I can read that. See, like he's out there doing his thing. Hey, hey, hey. Control your wildebeest. Yeah, so definitely in hardcore, I would be more appreciated. But like I said, all it would take is once for me to die. And I would lose my marbles. Yeah, so I wish you could do the buff here, though. Because that would still show something. But then at least I could die. Right? But I am very curious to know if people will be like, oh yeah, that would add so much more drama and excitement. Every little thing, you know, matters. I think I've talked about it enough now. You get the idea of what I'm trying to say. And for me, really... And I think it's also because of my tolerance level, because of how many years I've been playing this. this game, this version of WoW is hardcore enough to begin with. However, the good news is, in case you didn't know, if you're playing hardcore and you do die, you have the option to move your character to a non-hardcore server. So imagine you get to 60 and you do all this crazy stuff. You get all this nice gear and you die. It's not the end of your character, it's just the end of that character on a hardcore server.
Strength.
Alternatively, you get somewhat far in the stealth mode, and you just find it's too much. You're like level 60. You don't even have your level 40 mount, and you're just like, oh my god, seriously? This is hardcore enough as is. I want to use the goddamn auction house. You can turn it off. You just can never re-enable it for that character, right? You do have options to tap out, which is nice. Yeah, I'm really excited. I don't know how long it's going to take me to get there, because I procrastinate a little bit. I do have a lot of other things that I do, other games that I play. And let's be real. On my channel, by a long shot, my World of Warcraft videos are my absolute worst videos on my channel. In terms of performance and making me money. They don't make me money. Normally, people YouTube full-time because they're looking to get some views, to get some gravy on their mashed potatoes so they don't run dry. And my potatoes have been dry like a fucking... I'm trying to find the word. Beef jerky. Get it? 'Cause beef jerky's really dry. Yeah. Now this is a PvP server, as I've mentioned. Normally I would these days opt for a PvE, but it is mainly horde dominated. However, the servers are like cross, so there's probably like a half little decent amount of alliance. See what I mean here? Look at that. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Had that been hardcore, that literally would have been the end of it. But now that I have to walk all the way back... Oh, I'm level 15. Yeah, I would get a debuff. That's another quality of life that's been added to more recent iterations of World of Warcraft, even such as classic Wrath of the Lich King, even Burning Crusade, is you'll have spirit guides that will resurrect you much closer than a kilometer away from your corpse. These are all the time sinks. But chances are, if you're watching me or anybody else play World of Warcraft, not Wrath, Craft era, or any version really, you'll know that this game is pretty wild. It's an amazing experience, really. And I know it's not for everybody, and some people will trash the game, it's this, it's that. And it is this and that, because they feel that way, right? You can't challenge how somebody feels. You can still call them a dingleberry, but they're entitled to how they feel. Whereas for me, when I say this is one of the greatest games in the history of the world, it's not an opinion. Nope. A fact. The numbers speak for themselves. Gotta really be careful here. For obvious reasons. Things do get a little easier, naturally, once you get... Well, like anything, really. You get some slightly better gear. I remember on my Night Elf Druid when I was leveling through Burning Crusade and the Tauren Druid, because I was leveling both. Don't ask. I was hauling ass. Like, I mean, really hauling ass. So I think I might... It's a joke. I might just do my own self-found mode, but using the auction house. Because I don't raid or anything like that. Pick up the Aladdin mushroom. I remember fighting for these some 20 years ago. Isn't that crazy that, like, when I was playing this game, I was in my mid-20s. And now I'm in my mid-40s. And there could be people out there that, like... I don't know. Now they have kids, potentially, that are the age we were when we started. And they're that next generation. And it's just kind of wild to think about. Like, that's how old this game is. And not only that, to go even a step further, some of those people now could have kids that are almost 8 years old that are playing depending on whenever they had a kid, right? So it's just wild to think about. Like, I remember this game, like I said, when I was in my mid-20s. Now there's some people that could be grandparents. 20 years later, and I'm level 15. Like, it's a good time. For real, though, right? That's why I kind of sometimes lose a little bit of my... I don't know if the word mojo's the right word, but... Where I kind of just get a little bit like, I'm so over it. Because I have definitely earned my keep, as a lot of other people have. And my Druid and Wrath of the Lich King's fully geared. And my Paladin's already almost there. I could just jump on them right now and just roam around, help people out. But they're going to Cataclysm. I just can't do it. I don't want to do that expansion. I can't. It's sad, but then on the flip side, too, I think about, what if I stick with it, with the Wrath of the Lich King? They go to Cataclysm, but something happens, and they decide to surprise us with, oh, by the way, you can choose to remain here, and we will keep, 2 or 3 Wrath-era servers. They should have done that with Burning Crusades, to be honest with you, even if it's just 1 or 2. I mean, they got hardcore. How many people are going to do hardcore? They figure not that many, which is why they only have 2 servers for it. I was going to say, right? Because I say that a lot. Every time I do this, I'm saying right without actually saying it, because that could be a real pain in the ass. A million times I've said this. The word nostalgia. And the debate of how strong can nostalgia be. And apparently for me, pretty strong. Because when I think about it, what's really sad is I've probably now played World of Warcraft solo, on my own, by my very lonesome, probably twice as long than I ever did with people. No, maybe not twice as long. Longer. We'll just leave it with longer. And that's pretty crazy. So from about, 2004, 2005, because the game came out in November of 2004, 20 years ago on my birthday. Well, not on my birthday, but a couple weeks after in November. That's who I needed. That's one thing I hate about Classic. Right fucking there. She could have invited me to a party, which I normally do. I could have tried inviting her, but whatever. It's the fucking respawn. And the fact that out of party loot, OOPL, does not exist. That's a quality of life that I could see being added to the game. But then you're still technically changing the game. So the hardcore conservative people of this game would be like, no, you want it? Then you invite the person. There's no this, there's no that. Then it's transmog, then it's LFG group. Like, where does it end? And they have a point. However, if they ever made a classic era or a classic plus server, those are the kinds of things I would like your basic things like out of party, loot, mob tagging loot, whatever it's called. And also being able to... What was I going to say? I forget. Oh, use transmog. Again, it would be a classic plus server. I'm literally not just going to stand here and wait. Hello, man. Don't be shy. But I am fine with how this is. It's more the population. But honestly, because of time restraints, classic Wrath of the Lich King is probably a better fit for me, or even Burning Crusades. The pure, again, classic here, era. Gotta throw in that word era, because that means no expansions here. And again, after 2 decades, right? A little much. But I am enjoying it. Running into people like this too is just, it's fun. Notice how that guy could have used the little heal, so he got it a couple times. Had this been retail, he would have been full health and full heirlooms. It takes away the experience. They've removed and pruned, as it's called, a lot of the buffs. There's like literally no need for you to help people out. They've removed a lot of the elites from the game. They just made the game a lot easier. As a matter of fact, even by Burning Crusades, they made the game noticeably easier and faster and everything. And again, I'm not complaining. But yeah, big difference. Big difference. This is the Dark Souls of World of Warcraft. Nothing comes close to this. Not even Burning Crusade. In other news... Well, I do have to collect some of these thingamathingies. I just hope somebody doesn't... Well, ninja's not the right word. But ninja the kill. And speaking of skinning, skinning's a really good profession to use in self-made, whatever the mode is called, self-serve, the solo mode, where you can't use the AH or anything. Oh, his booty is in his chest. That sounds weird. But yeah, the druid, again, I love it because you can kind of... Well, not kind of. You can tank. You can stealth like a rogue. You can heal. Like, it's just... You can buff. I love the paladin, but the paladin buffs, no offense, are really lackluster. Actually, they're so good they suck. What? Because the timer on them, 10 minutes, you need to be in a party with somebody to be able to use a 30-minute buff. It's so dumb. I never understood why paladin buffs were so short in duration. And I don't know if it's because they're kind of considered like really strong, but I just know that by I don't know. I really don't know. By the time I get to 60, if I ever do, I'd probably just go resto on the druid. Just being able to go around, heal, kill things, but it would take a while because you're healing. I'd probably still go in bear form. It would take a while for me to kill stuff again, but eh. Because I have to be doing something. If I'm not doing dungeons, if I'm not raiding, then I need to have something other than just roaming around going, hey, how's it going? And if there's a lot of people and the place is quite decently populated, then constantly going around and rescuing someone and throwing them a buff and healing them, helping them kill the enemy, whoever it is. That's fun. Probably do it. I could probably... Yeah, exactly. One of those. That reduces their attack power, so they do a little bit less damage. Don't need to, but at the 50-60% mark, if I can, I'll kind of heal up. That way, in case I get attacked again. So to me, this is still hardcore. It's just not nearly as aneurysm-inducing as the actual hardcore mode. It's like the whole thing on paper sounds like a lot of fun. Like, oh yeah, this is it. But in actual practicality, it's not that great of a mode when you think about it. Because of the lack of a guarantee of if you get disconnected, something beyond your control. That's it. I might end the video soon. I don't know how long I've been recording for, so you know what? I'm going to take a look because I'm curious. Yeah, it's been a half hour. But I'm kind of happy this happened in a way. You saw how long, assuming you made it this far, you see how long ago the character, there you go, killed it, and how long it took for him to come back. Took a while. Whoops. It's kind of overkill, but I don't really care. I'd rather be safer than sorry. Run away, maggot. Off with your head. I forget which game said that line the way that I just said it. It's kind of funny. I think what I'll do is I'll turn in this quest, and then I will wrap it up. That'll be the end. Not much really got done in this video. Just a lot more rambling about absolutely nothing. But I had fun. That's the main take from that. If only a couple of 100,000 other people enjoyed it as much as I did, I'd be doing this every day. I mean, I do it every day. I mean this game specifically. That's what I meant. I've been doing this for over half a decade now. I've been trading this like I'm making 100,000 a year, and I'm not. Not even close. Oh my god. To make $100,000 at the rate I've been going at, if I remember it. I can't remember how many years it would take. A long time. Let's just leave it at that. very, very long time. Like 20 or 30 years or so. I can't remember the math there. I can't think off the top of my head.
Sug down.
Actually, I am curious. Speaking of the 100 grand, give me a second. Yeah, it would take me about 16 and a half years to make $100,000. That's Canadian. So that's like, I don't know. In American dollars, 100K, like 70,000 US. So it would take me about 16, 17 years to make like 70,000 US dollars. Yeah, exactly. Doesn't really sound like a good gig, does it? I love that I changed how far I can zoom out my character. Oh, it wants me to collect Savannah lion tusks. Yeah. I'm probably just gonna log out here, to be honest with you. Well, that's it for me. Thumbs up if you liked the video. It does greatly help support that channel with the algorithm, so they say. You didn't like it, go ahead, give it a thumbs down. I'll bend it in half, twist it, and I'll break that thing off in your ass. That end right there does not look good. And if you want to subscribe, naturally, that would be fantastic. But if not, thanks for stopping by anyways. Take care. And maybe if I'm lucky, I'll see some of you in the next one. Bye for now.